What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to raise your testosterone levels naturally. But before we dig in, thank you so much for listening. If you've been listening to the show, you've enjoyed it. If you could rate the show, subscribe, share it to people who you think it would help, that would really help me, really help them, and help my goal of just trying to debunk a bunch of the crap out there and just help people get real info that they can apply to their lives so they can improve the quality of their lives. So thank you. And some of you might be wondering, why is she talking about testosterone? Well, men and women have testosterone, and low levels of testosterone across the board are not healthy for either men or women. Women tend to have, or should have, lower levels of testosterone than men. But we still need testosterone. It's still really, really important. It's important for building muscle, for overall energy levels, metabolic health, sleep, libido, really most things. And so before I talk about how to raise it, I'm actually going to talk about signs you might have low testosterone. So you have lower libido, not much vitality, you're really fatigued, your mood is kind of low, kind of depressed, maybe more anxious, you have some sort of insomnia, you have decreased muscle mass, trouble building muscle mass, increased visceral body fat. Honestly, in a lot of men with lower testosterone, they tend to be like more pear-shaped. It's usually sign of estrogen dominance, because that tends to be how women store our body fat. But if someone is a man and is storing their body fat pear-shaped, they probably have lower levels of testosterone and higher levels of estrogen. If you feel kind of weak, or you're diagnosed with osteoporosis or osteopenia, probably have lower levels of testosterone. So yeah, really it impacts everything: sleep, mood, ability to build muscle, burn body fat. And that's why bodybuilders take, I guess, quote unquote steroids. They take testosterone exogenously to improve their ability to build muscle. There is too much testosterone because having too much of an anabolic hormone, anabolic means build, like a builds muscle. That can lead to a lot of bodybuilders, pro bodybuilders. They have organs that overgrow because organs are built with muscle. And so the more testosterone you have, you're not probably just building muscle tissue. If you have like way more than the norm, you're probably also going to be growing other tissue in your body. So it's just something to be aware of. There is too much. There's a right dose. If you've gotten your testosterone levels checked and you're a man and it's below about 450, your levels are probably a little bit low. And this episode is definitely going to benefit you. So with most of my clients, what I work on first, I do not send them to a hormone replacement clinic, because most people who come to me, they're overweight, trying to improve their health. Their testosterone levels are going to be low. And so most of the habits that I work on in general with most people are going to lead to improved levels of testosterone. But I'm going to be more specific, and I'm going to explain why these things help your testosterone levels. And yeah. So, yeah, if you have body fat to lose, if you, your lifestyle isn't optimized, you're going to have low levels of testosterone. So working on the things I'm going to talk about today, you're going to see a drastic improvement in energy levels, hormone profile, quality of life, ability to build muscle and burn body fat, all the things. So let's dig in. So number one, if you listen to the last episode, I talked about just movement, steps in general. If you have less than 8,000 steps a day, increasing your step count to about 8,000 is going to lead to healthier levels of testosterone. So Step 1, just daily movement. Start to increase that slowly over time. You want more info? Listen to the previous episode. That'll give you more actionable strategies on that. And then the two biggest things that I've noticed with clients that have improved their testosterone levels naturally is number 1, strength training. Strength training in general sends a signal to your body, hey, you want to build muscle. If you want to build muscle, you know what you need more of? Testosterone. So your body's like, well, crap, I got to increase my testosterone levels in order to adapt to this thing that you're putting your body through. So, strength training. And it just leads to a healthier hormone profile for both men and women. But number 2 is sleep. One poor night of sleep can cut your testosterone levels in half. Yes. How crazy is that? Thankfully, right, just getting a good night of sleep will bring them back to normal levels. So, focusing on really dialing in your sleep routine, sleep quality, sleep time. I have an episode on sleep. Look up How to Sleep Like a Baby. That's what the episode's called. That will help drastically. I talk about different actionable strategies to help just improve your sleep quality. So do that. Sleep and strength training. Those are the two big impactors. Biggest levers to pull, I guess would be a better way of saying it. And then honestly, like number 3, and the reason that sleep, it's like, so there's a lot of hormones in your body. One that's often demonized, that is important, is cortisol. It's a stress hormone. And if that's super elevated, then your levels of testosterone naturally are going to be a little bit lower because it takes energy for your body to produce hormones. So there's like a balance, right? So with regards to another reason why strength training helps testosterone levels naturally is not just the signal that it sends your body to produce the hormone, but it also just builds more resiliency in general to stress. And poor sleep, again, if you have a poor night of sleep, that's going to increase the cortisol, increase the stress on your body, increasing the cortisol, reducing the other hormones. So the third biggest thing to focus on is stress reduction in general. So if you don't have any stress management techniques, if you're really stressed, overworked, underslept, overtrained, undereating, that's going to lead to really low levels of testosterone. So oftentimes with the type of clients that I get, the men that come to me, they've dieted a lot before. I have some who haven't and some that are just tend to eat more and that's why they struggle with their body composition. But I have a lot of men that come to me and they're under eating. So they're eating like 2,000 calories a day. They're like 6 foot, 6'2", 230 pounds. And it's like, yo, dude, we got to increase your calories. So something I'll often do with those men is a reverse diet into a small bulk. So reverse diet is I did an episode on this too. It's trying to find that top end of maintenance. So basically the amount of food you can eat without putting on body weight. And then usually what happens is when you do that, you end up going into a bulk. And so we just stay there and we build some muscle tissue. Building the muscle tissue will improve your testosterone levels, but it'll also reduce the stress. Like eating enough will reduce external stressors on the body. Well, I guess that is a physiological stressor, but our body can only handle so much stress. So if your work life is crazy, you got stuff at home, you're overtraining, undereating, I can't really, as a coach, affect the work part of things. I can say, hey, maybe you get another job or maybe you offload some of those responsibilities, but I can't really change that. Same with the home life. We can talk about things like, hey, maybe you should have a conversation with this person that you're struggling with, but I can't impact it. But nutrition and training, I can impact. And so usually increasing the calories, improved energy levels, improved sleep, improved body composition, improve levels of testosterone. So, but this is a caveat, right? If you're not underfueling, do not do this. If you're overfueling and you're overweight, that's a stress on the body. And oftentimes, estrogen is stored in body fat. So people who are overweight, they just have lower levels of testosterone, generally speaking. So, because that's a stress on the body. So, reducing your body fat percentage, reducing the amount of body fat you have on your frame, that's going to improve your levels of testosterone. But back to the stress thing. Well, I guess that is a stressor too. Just in general, right? Overtraining is a stressor. The clients that I have that do or used to do like high intensity cardio or long endurance bouts of exercise, they tend to have lower levels of testosterone naturally, because that's very stressful. And cardio does not send a signal to build muscle. It sends a signal for your body to adapt to this cardiovascular output, which usually your body wants less mass, so it's more effective and efficient at doing the cardio. That's what I've noticed. Don't kill the messenger. So reducing the amount of endurance training is going to improve levels of testosterone. And then in general, as I said, nutrition, critical. Improving, not only making sure you're eating enough, but you're eating the right foods. So you're eating enough protein. That's going to help your body build muscle, which is going to help your hormone profile. Improving the quality too, making sure your body's getting enough micronutrients. That's going to give your body the tools to function optimally. If you don't have enough micronutrients, your body might be in a state of stress, like a low state of stress, which is going to impact your hormone levels. So making sure you're eating enough and you're getting all the micronutrients and macronutrients your body needs. So not underfueling, eating good quality foods, supplementing for nutrient deficiencies if necessary. So like a multivitamin, a broad spectrum multivitamin. And then eating enough fiber too. Fiber is really important, and fiber actually helps get rid of excessive estrogen in the system. So if you have too high levels of estrogen as a man, even if you have testosterone that's in range, you're going to get symptoms of lower testosterone because you have more of the female hormone profile going on there. So fiber foods, carrots, broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, that's going to get rid of excessive estrogen in the body. Improving that. And then something that isn't as commonly talked about, and this is why my program's structured this way. So first, right, we're working on those foundational habits, the things I just talked about now. But if you're still having symptoms, that's when we'll do some testing to see what's going on under the hood. And so we can address deficiencies, but also figure out if maybe you do have some digestive issues that are unresolved. And as I talked about in the last episode, 90% of people have some type of metabolic dysfunction. Most people who have metabolic dysfunction have some type of gut issue. Most people, if you do those habits, that's going to fix that gut issue. But if you're still having symptoms and you haven't fixed that gut issue, then we need to fix that gut issue, because your digestive health impacts your hormone levels, because it impacts your ability to assimilate and utilize the nutrients you're consuming, which impact your metabolism, your hormones, your energy levels, your sleep quality, all the things which impact your training, your body composition, which impact your hormones. It's like kind of this cycle, this loop, this circle. Everything affects everything. So first step, foundational habits. That'll improve your digestion and hormones. If not, testing, see what's going on. You probably have digestive issues. If you're still having symptoms, we'll address those. Those will help you lose body fat, which will help improve your testosterone levels. and help you assimilate more of the nutrients you're consuming. And then you should see really big improvement in testosterone levels. Something that I get really frustrated by is where I live in Utah, med spas are like really popular, and people will go in and be like, oh, I need to get my hormones checked. And they go on hormone replacement and they're like 30 or less than 30, and they're being way overdosed with testosterone and other things, but they're overweight. Their gut health is really poor, and they're not fixing the root cause of the issue. And then they're going to be dependent on testosterone for the rest of their lives. And when you go on hormone replacement, you can kind of come back from it. But if you're overdosed, which a lot of them don't give people the right amount, which is another problem that I have with the med spas. If you're overdosed, that's a problem. And then, because then your body's natural production will downregulate anyway, because you're getting it externally from an external source. Your body's like, hey, I don't have to worry about this anymore because I have enough now. So your body will stop producing it naturally. And if you have way too much, it's really going to affect your natural production. And most people can't really come off of it. So you have to pay for it, get injections for the rest of your life. And that's another thing. Don't do the pellets. They don't work very well. Injections or creams are the best way to go. That's what I've seen with clients. I'm not on hormone replacement. I've been doing natural remedies. Sometimes it's a struggle. But it's because of stress. So, which is really important. Stress impacts your digestion, which is again why we focus on stress, sleep, movement, training, nutrition, hydration before we address the gut health issues and order testing and stuff. Because as I said, most people's lifestyle is poor, which is why most people have gut issues, most people have hormone issues. You fix that, you're going to fix a lot of things. But anyway, there are like 2 other things I did want to talk about that as you're improving your lifestyle, which it takes time. That's another thing. It takes time if you don't want to be dependent upon external sources of testosterone. If you want to fix it naturally, it's going to take time, but there's some things you can supplement with that could help. And even some foods to include in your diet that can help your natural levels of testosterone. So I'll start with the foods. You can just kind of slowly start to integrate these. Fatty fish. Fatty fish are loaded with vitamin D, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are really helpful for healthy levels of testosterone. Dark leafy greens, loaded with magnesium, which helps with the stress. Most people are depleted in magnesium because of the high levels of stress that we have in our lives, which impacts your sleep. Not enough magnesium, poor quality sleep. Also, we need magnesium for a lot of other things like muscle contractions and but stress depletes magnesium. So, including dark leafy greens are going to help. Cocoa powder and cacao nibs are high in magnesiums and antioxidants, which are very beneficial. Avocados, loaded with healthy fats, magnesium, and boron. Eggs, loaded with healthy fats, proteins, and selenium, which is important for testosterone production. Berries, cherries, and pomegranates, loaded with antioxidants, which help protect testosterone producing cells from damage. Then shellfish, oysters specifically, are loaded with zinc, selenium, and omega-3 fatty acids. So try to integrate some of these foods into your diet as you're doing the other things too. They're only going to help, they're not going to hurt. And all of these foods just in general are good for you. I don't like shellfish personally, but all the other stuff is delicious. So, but yes, so then supplements. And again, I talk about these last because the other things are going to move the needle the furthest, but these might help during that process. As you're trying to improve it, you might notice that they benefit you slightly if you have pretty low levels of testosterone right now. in general, vitamin D, most people need a supplement with it. Getting that to an optimal range is going to improve your mood, improve your hormone profile. So that should be taken daily. And then specifically, if you're struggling with testosterone, Shilajit, I'm trying to, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a tar. I looked it up because I couldn't. It's like a tar-like resin that's found in rocks in the Himalayas. And it's got a lot of minerals. And it has shown to help raise levels of testosterone and fertility. But so there's some companies that make supplements. You just want to make sure they're third-party tested and GMP certified. I don't supplement with it. So I've found one that my husband supplemented with for a bit on Amazon. Nutricost, Thorn, Nutridyne. Those are 3 great supplement brands. Legion Athletics is really great too. They have the best protein powders, in my opinion. Yeah, those are things. So Shilajit and vitamin D you can take daily. Then I'd run a 60-day protocol on going on and off with ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen, and it helps lower levels of stress, which, as I said, stress impacts your hormone profile. So that's why it helps usually improve sleep quality, reduce stressors, so that you get better quality sleep, better hormone profile. And zinc. Zinc is super beneficial as well. And that's something you can take daily. If you're taking a quality multivitamin, I recommend Thorn or Nutridyne for one of those. Probably has zinc in it. Probably has boron, which is also beneficial. And so ashwagandha, and sometimes men's multivitamins do have ashwagandha in it to help with testosterone levels, so double check that. And usually there's vitamin D, but not an efficacious dosage. So you usually recommend about 5,000 a day for most people, especially with the winter coming. It's just something to start supplementing with. But anyway, that's all I got for today for testosterone. If you have any personal questions about this, hit me up on Instagram. I've helped a lot of men with this specifically. So I'd be more than happy to help. And if you'd like, I have this metabolic quiz. It can kind of give you insight to what might be the biggest rock for you to start focusing on right now to help improve your hormone profile, testosterone, energy levels, and just overall metabolic health. You can click the link below. And if this was helpful, please rate the show, share it, and subscribe. Just helps me get in front of more people, helps me help more people. But anyway, that's all for today. So thank you for listening, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.